Hi, everybody. So, today I am going to talk about some similarities that I have noticed while watching Friends and Gilmore Girls as they pertain to Ross and Monica and their family dynamic with their parents, as well as Paris Geller and certain situations she gets herself into and how they're connected to stuff that Ross and Monica, how they behave or things that they do. So I have a theory, actually, that Paris is related to Ross and Monica through Jack's cousin. Jack is Monica and Ross's dad. So, to begin, as we all know, if there are many other friends and Gilmore Girls friends out there, Monica's parents are abusive to her, and so are Lorelai's parents. So that's one big connection that I noticed. But, I mean, I think that deep down inside, Jack is very nice. Richard can definitely be manipulative sometimes, but Emily is way worse. Emily kind of forces Richard to have a relationship with Rory, even though he doesn't seem to be too interested. Two examples of this appear in the episode where they go golfing at the country club. Although once they're actually golfing together, they actually seem to be getting along really nicely. And then the episode I watched last week where Richard is helping Rory and her classmates with their project for their economics class. I would say that the only redeeming thing that I have noticed from Emily so far in the episodes I've seen is the episode where they are doing the fashion show for the fundraiser for the school. That is the only episode that I actually saw Lorelai and Emily getting along in. The rest of the time, she's really, really mean to her. And the episode of Friends I watched recently where the abuse towards Monica is the most prominent is the one with the sonogram at the end, where Ross finds out that Carol is pregnant and he's like afraid to tell his parents. Lorelai is an only child, and Monica and Ross and Monica. Ross is the older of two siblings, and I think part of the reason why Judy is so mean to Monica is because Ross is the wonder child, and then Monica is in his shadow all the time. The only redeeming time for Judy that I have noticed in Friends is when in the episode, the one with the dozen lasagnas, where Monica and Phoebe are catering a lunch for Judy and her friends, and Judy comes into the kitchen to comment Monica on her cooking, and she admits that she's a bitch, which was good, but then throughout the rest of the show, she's still mean to her, so it's that means absolutely nothing at all, which really bothered me. And I wish there had been a spin-off of Friends that showed Jack and Judy's relationship with Monica and Chandler's twins, and with Emma. But of course that never happened, and that will never happen because Matthew Perry is dead. So now I wanted to get into aspects of Paris that makes her similar to Monica and Ross. The first aspect I noticed about Paris that makes her similar to Monica and Ross is OCD behavior. Like, this behavior is prominent for Monica in the episode where she's cleaning the apartment, or talking about cleaning the apartment. I think it's the one with the fake Monica where she gets her credit card stolen. And then the other episode where the OCD behavior is pretty prominent is where she's organizing the assembly line for the food for Carol and Susan's wedding, and the one with the lesbian wedding. Where Paris shows OCD qualities is in directing the Romeo and Juliet play during Runaway Little Boy, season 2, episode 9, and the business class project in season 2, episode 18, Back in the Saddle Again. I wanted to briefly mention the product that Rory and her classmates make in Back in the Saddle Again. They create a first aid kit that easily fits into your locker. If that was actually a real product that came out when the show was airing, this episode aired in spring 2001. I definitely would have bought something like that and put it in my high school locker, and I was kind of disappointed when they didn't win the competition for the business fair. Richard was a sore loser, and he goes up to Reverend Headmaster Charleston and says he demands a recount. And then Headmaster Charleston says, I did a recount. The other product still wins. Another way I have noticed similar behaviors between Ross and Monica and Paris is mental breakdowns. Obviously, if you have seen Gilmore Girls, you will see the episode where Rory and Paris are being interviewed on TV for C-SPAN, and she freaks out because she has sex with Jamie and didn't get into Harvard. And then, obviously, if you're a big fan of Friends like me, and you have seen the episode where Ross freaks out about his coworker eating his Thanksgiving Day leftover sandwich, you can definitely see how those personalities are the same. Another thing I noticed is that there's a rushed relationship. In Friends, it's with Ross and Emily, and in Gilmore Girls, it's with Jamie and Paris. Paris is this college guy who dates Paris in season 3, and they rush into the relationship, kind of like what happened with Ross and Emily, though they don't get married. They break up because Paris thinks they're rushing things too fast. The last thing I wanted to talk about is student-teacher relationships, or in general, relationships with people who are older than you. I can make 2 parallels to Friends in this case between Ross and Monica. Obviously, with Monica, it's Monica's relationship with Richard because of the age gap, though. When Paris dates her college professor in season 4, he's way, way, way older than her. And, obviously, the characters in Friends are a lot older, a lot more mature. The age gap between Richard and Monica is 21 years, while the age gap between Paris and Asher is 39 years, which is super predatory and super gross because she's 19 and he's 60. And then, again, we go back to Ross dating Elizabeth in the episode arc where Bruce Willis guest stars as Paul Stevens. And you guys all know by now how I feel about that episode because I've talked about it in other videos. Again, the age gap between Ross and Elizabeth is not as bad as the age gap between Paris and Asher. It is stated in one episode that the age gap between Elizabeth and Ross is 12 years, which again is not as bad as a 39-year age gap between Asher and Paris. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great day.